I was born. I was 10 pounds 8 ounces, or approximately 4.9 kilograms for you non-imperials. The fat football baby with bright red hair that I was, the doctor thought I was a steak fillet and sliced my nose. How rude. Growing up as a baby, I screamed a lot, and apparently the only way to shut me up was vibrations. So my mother put a vibrating device under my pillow. Yes, a device. Shut up. But I still whined a lot as a child, and had a favourite ball that I needed to hug every day, or else you would feel my tiny ginger whitey wrath. Around 8 years old or so, I lived with my grandma and granddad for most of my young life. Every summer we'd go to a place called Norfolk on the east coast of England. You'd see me riding on my BMX trying to get out to the estuary before the tide came in, or you'd see me in the nature reserve trying to build dens out of trees. In my junior school of Kingswood, I met one of the best teachers I had ever had, Miss Sheridan. She wore a red dress with white polka dots and helped me with whatever I had a problem with, including when I had pneumonia. I'd almost went to the great owl nest in the sky after coming down with this terrible malady, but with the help of my family, doctors and Miss Sheridan, I survived. She also introduced me to He-Man by buying me a complete set of hardback books full of him. In early school life, I loved Pogs, Pokemon, and sticky aliens for some reason. Because of my height and various other things, I would be bullied. They would surround me and bully me in wonderful weird ways due to my height, big nose and big ears. What these bullies didn't know is that I just needed to grow into them to become the wondrous owl I am today. They also didn't know I had 99 wood cutting and fletching the RuneScape. The effing scrubs. I tried to just be in the background in senior school, not getting good or bad grades as I didn't really care about school at the time, trying to get to the end without bothering anyone, but unfortunately that wasn't going to be the case as several personal life struggles hit me. Having a very nasty incident that left me injured, my girlfriend leaving me, my parents splitting, and bullying all got too much. And I began becoming a very angry owl, losing focus on my life and finishing senior school with some horrible grades. At 18, I started a course in carpentry at my local college. I soon became the top of my class with a natural talent, as my tutor told me, in woodworking. But unfortunately my attitude was still trying to fix itself, and I was not, which meant I had to drop out, so I then signed up to the Royal Navy. But after 1.5 years of trying, a previous misdiagnosis of having epilepsy when I was 12 caused the Royal Navy to revoke my application. One of the most memorable things in my life was when I went to Rochester Castle in the south of England with my family. Rochester is quite a complete castle, and I wanted to see if I could jump off one of the walls and survive. As you are watching this now, yes, I did survive. However, I did embarrass myself by jumping off a 25-foot wall and landing spread-eagled in the mud below. I did nothing but lay still and giggle to myself. Everyone around me was worried, but as soon as they see me laugh out loud with mud on my face, they were reassured and joined me in laughing. I was kicked out of my home, and my grandma took me in, and I became her carer. After a couple of years, I started playing my first MMOs, Anarchy Online and World of Warcraft. Halfway through working at my first job, I started my IT tech course and studied hard. Unfortunately, that company went into administration and I was left with some debt. Pretty unlucky. I cycled 12 miles every day to work and back to pay for the current debt I was in, so I had another passion: giant legs and a firm butt. I was made redundant from my workplace and became a full-time carer for my nan for a few years before her passing, and moved to where I am now. I moved to a town which is a lot different to the countryside I used to live in, and I was slowly getting smothered by depression, and I didn't see it coming. It was during this time I started to play League of Legends and began to create my first gaming team with a friend of mine called Raging Snail. It helped, and at this point I realised I had a passion for something. Then more tragedy struck as I found out my biological father, who I had never met, had been in an awful incident that resulted in serious injury. I was told that he might not make it, and for some reason, even for a man that I'd never met, I still felt like I should have been there for him. However, I could not make it in time to see my real father, and he passed away before I could say my goodbyes. I attended his funeral and was the only person to speak for him. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, and I could not complete the words I said, but I think I said enough. However, I did meet extended family who I knew nothing about in the first place, and they were lovely people. After a number of work opportunities, I just couldn't keep things down. I was passionate about these opportunities, but my health was steadily getting worse. Night terrors, sleep paralysis, and a lot of darker things taking hold of me almost every night, and still do. So I would try and make other things work with what I had at my disposal with different levels of success, until eventually the start of this year came. Felipe, Alexo Capo, and many others changing my outlook on things with a giant raid on Twitch that made me realise I was wanted again, and gave me a push in the right direction to stream and be my own person. Now guys, you're watching the next chapter in my life, and I'm trying my best to not let depression get through to me. So thank you so much for being there.